Hello, and thank you for joining our Fireside chats at the European Cardano community. I am Marcus, one of the core team members, and if you like what we are doing, please consider supporting our individual projects. At time of this recording, these are Davide's Rookies Game, Ricardo's Web3 user group, or delegating to my Cardano stake pool with the ticker birth to support us at Larissa Health. You will find the links to our guests and our projects below the video. Now hit the notification bell, give us a thumbs up, and enjoy this session.
Hey, hello. Welcome everybody to another fantastic appointment with the European Town Hall. We are very excited today because we have a lot of nice guests. We have my friends from FluidTokens. We have my friends from Adakonda, full of Italians today, guys. Now it's time for revenge.
And we have SoundRig.
And we have SoundRig as well, that here with us since the beginning. Hello, Sunny.
Hello.
Hello, Matteo. First time I see you in video. Fantastic. Amazing. Today is, I was saying that today is totally dominated by Italians, these meetings. Fantastic. Finally, for the first time.
Well, I should say buongiorno.
Yeah, you should.
Buongiorno.
Parliamo italiano.
So let's start. No, let's speak in Italian today. Ciao ragazzi. Questa volta facciamo in italiano. I'm kidding. Amazing.
We always said, entiende un poco, parlar niente. But the grammar is wrong, right?
Yeah, entiendo in Spanish, so yeah. I think I ban you now.
Capisce niente. So.
Nice. We started with the right foot. Let's go. Let's begin, guys. Fantastic to have you here. Is very appreciated your presence. Raul, welcome.
Hello.
Raul is one of our fantastic co-hosts of the Italian Twitter Spaces. So
really?
Thank you again for your help, Raul. It's fantastic having you. But let's go. We start usually with our mantra. As the Global Town Hall, we have our mantra that is more or less the same format, but is translated in different languages from the European Union. Usually, I'm the first one starting reading that because I'm Italian, of course, but today we are so many. Who wants to read the first line, guys? Matteo. Fantastic.
Benvenuti all'esperimento.
Boaz,
Les choses peuvent.
Kipra,
Fehlende Dokumentation.
Differ greatly between iterations.
Sunny.
I thought one person was going to do it. I'm now disorientated. So well.
But not overloaded and inspired? Yes, you are.
Yeah, exactly. Disorient, overload, and inspire. Yes.
And this
What's
is
our goal?
Asphaless, right?
Asphaless, yes.
Our goal, provide a asphaless and lively environment for you to explore the highest potential de la
colaboración humana.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Usually we get so messy also in the Global Town Hall, so it's nice to see that we can keep the same energy here. And now we also have our personal mantra of the European community that usually is Marcus reading it because he's the author of that. Please, Marcus, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Keep your notes up to date and try to learn something new every day. I think that's especially important when the markets do different things and the positive things, go back on building. Support and connect with community members for synergy and goals. That's what we're doing here today. Be inclusive, friendly, and wise with words, even in anger. Catalyst is going into the next round in April, so we have some time to cool down and share information without destroying dreams, people, or the reputation. Welcome to the Fireside Chat.
Fantastic. And also I want to remember that we host several different Twitter X spaces in many different languages for European community. We host them in Italian, in Spanish, in Greek, in so many languages. And if you have friends who want to host another Twitter space in another language, like Sana, if you want to do that in Poland, we are open to make it happen. So please get in touch with the team. And we would love to do that to expand our reach. But let's start with the first guests, and everybody's here mostly for them. I love those guys. They are building something extremely innovative and important for our community. Welcome, FluidTokens. Welcome.
Go.
Oh,
Hello, guys. Again.
Hello. Hi,
Hi
Matteo.
everyone.
Ciao,
Hi,
Matteo.
Varro.
Happy to be here.
Benvenuti.
So, the floor is yours. Speak whatever you want. You have more or less 15 minutes. Use them in the way you prefer.
Raul, you want to speak?
Yeah, maybe I will start with the services, and Matteo will speak with the future and what's coming soon. So Fluid Token was born 2 years ago and was a peer-to-peer lending platform, and we started using NFTs as collateral. At that moment, the NFT hype was probably at its all-time high in Cardano. Everyone was purchasing NFTs, and the issue was that at that point there was no liquidity for DeFi. Um, there were the first DEXs around Cardano, but most of the liquidity was locked into NFTs. And that's how we started. We started to deliver a peer-to-peer service where borrowers could set up their request using their NFTs, ask for ADA, and using their NFTs as collateral. In the following months, we started to develop new services, and that's where instant liquidity arrived. So as I said at the beginning, it was the borrowers that requested a loan, and they had to wait for a lender. While with instant liquidity instead, lenders provide liquidity, they choose their favorite collection, the amount of ADA they would like to provide for as liquidity. So borrowers can just pick up the liquidity they need, and that's it. So we created a market where there are the two parties that can set their own rules. And in July, I think that you probably heard about it. We launched renting. We call it Fluid Share. And what is it? Essentially, we are able to set and borrow NFTs between users and make them unspendable. What does it mean? It means that if I need one NFT to unlock a particular utility or service, I can borrow this NFT from someone that has it, and he can be safe and he can feels secure of that transaction, because I want to be able to spend, to trade, to move around that NFT. I will only be able to use the utility. And if you check on Pool PM, when you rent an NFT, it still appears as it's in your wallet. But if you try to send it away within your wallet, you won't be able. And finally, probably the one of my favorite services, Boosted Stake. Boosted Stakes unlock a new possibility on Cardano, and this is possible only on Cardano. What do we do? Essentially, the same concept of the renting, we applied it to ADA. What happens in Cardano right now? Staking rewards are low, and they are not that high as probably at the first times or iterations. And users don't want to lend or get involved in DeFi if there are risks involved, such as defaults. Uh, the price of the NFTs or the tokens is volatile, and when there is a loan involved, the lenders can get less than what they invested at the first. With Boosted Stake, we solve these two problems. Essentially, I'm able to put my ADA in Boosted Stake liquidity pools, and anyone can borrow from it the how much ADA he wants, for how long he needs that, and he's not going to be able to spend that ADA. So I'm going to earn more than my staking rewards. So Right now, the average liquidity provider is earning around 8% as APR, so almost 3 times the regular staking rewards. And at the same time, the borrower is going to get ADA. We are talking about 100K of ADA, 1 million of ADA. 2 days ago, one borrower borrowed 1 million ADA in one transaction. And where are they using this ADA that they can't spend? They are using them for stake pool, for ICPOs. In this way, they maybe they would like to leverage and increase their position in their SPO, but maybe they don't have that ADA, 1 million ADA that in their wallets, but they can borrow it, and it costs much less than, of course, purchasing 1 million ADA. And this is the state of the art of FluidTokens right now, but there is so much coming, and I think that Matteo can tell us more.
Of course, yes. So yes, we recently in January we launched our token FLDT with one of probably most fair launches on Cardano, because we actually wanted to have a token that was fair for the community. So where the community could actually use it, enjoy it, and be as much decentralized as possible. And this is the first step to basically empower the whole ecosystem that Raul just described, that is present already, because users can use the token for several things. But regarding the technology that we are developing, there are many things that we are doing in 2024, so this year. And the first and the most known one at the moment is Aquarium, which is also being funded by Catalyst proposal, and is a system that basically allows bubble fees on Cardano. So it allows you to pay transaction fees, not in ADA, but with other tokens, or even not pay tokens at all, the transaction fees at all. So basically the DApp or someone else can sponsor for you the transaction fees, so you don't have to manage ADA at all. And this is super useful, for example, for services that want to sell stuff with stable coins, or games that have in-game tokens and they don't want to ask user to also manage ADA for the transactions. So there are many different kind of uses, and the decentralization of this network that allows these sponsored transactions allows also to create automatic smart contracts, because you can basically trigger transactions on demand with specifying the conditions to trigger them, and the decentralized network will take care for you. And this is super useful for, we are trying basically to onboard users that are not crypto users. So they come from the traditional world, from Web2. And in this way, they can use the services. They don't have to find ways to buy ADA, to manage different currencies inside the wallet, etc., etc. So this is probably the most famous one. But we also have several protocols that are coming out, different versions of our existing protocols, which are improved and basically allows a better interplay between the different protocols, but also with protocols outside FluidTokens. And also the objective is to go cross-chain, so to basically connect Cardano to other valid blockchains that exist, and in order to bridge liquidity from outside also into Cardano. And one of those is for sure Midnight, so the Midnight blockchain, because we want to create some protocols that are regarding DeFi that are based on privacy. So we were trying to basically accomplish financial operations that don't give up your privacy when it's not needed. And this should be very interesting, because there is a very big potential there. And the very last point of our roadmap for this year is the real-world asset tokenizations. So basically, we have Finest, which is a new, a separate company which we are part of. FluidTokens is part of it, but inside there is also Maker and IMX as companies, and we are creating a launchpad for launching assets that must be tokenized and used on the blockchain, on Cardano blockchain. And what FluidTokens is doing is building the technology for this, but it's also changing slowly our protocols in order to support these new kind of assets on the chain. So lending, for example, but renting as well, etc., etc. So what our objective is to support not only the NFTs that are or tokens that are completely virtual on the chain, but also the ones that have a link to the real world. So in order to connect the blockchain space with our traditional and daily world.
That's very cool. Also, you are the only one of the three entities who successfully completed an IISPO. Both the Maker One and and the IMX One are lasting forever, it seems. No, just kidding, of course.
It looks like it depends on the demand of the community, of course. We are very lucky because we have a very strong support of the community. And I think this is caused by the fact that we have always been transparent in everything we do. And also in every problem that can arise, we normally immediately say the situation, how we are fixing stuff, etc. Luckily, nothing major ever happened. But minor bugs or stuff like this, we are always transparent. We don't hide them. And the second thing is that we create stuff depending on what the community needs or ask. So we do the new iterations of each protocol. We create new protocols based on what the people say on our Discord, on our Twitter, whatever. So every time they give feedback, we try to write it down and understand how to do it.
Very good. One question. I understand many of the services and concepts that you guys provide with FluidTokens are only possible because of the way that Cardano is set up with the staking address, the receiving address, and that you can combine them to this like Franken addresses or something. Maybe you could give the audience a little bit of a technical background, how it works and why it's so unique in Cardano.
Raul, the CTO, can probably answer here better.
Sure. So on Cardano, usually the addresses have two parts. And I say usually because not always. And these two parts are composed by one key that is used for spending the ADA that is inside the address, and a second key that is able to change the delegation of the address involved. And so one thing that not many know is that when in our wallets, for instance, we have both the keys, okay? They are in our Nami, Eternal, Vesper, whatever. But when it comes to smart contracts instead, we are able to create addresses that have, they don't have anymore the spending key, but they have a smart contract. And what we can choose which key is going to be the staking one. And this is actually pretty interesting because it means that all the ADA that is inside a smart contract can be actually delegated. And this is usually used or by the project. The project can decide to stake to a particular pool and maybe later distribute the rewards from it. Or even better, each liquidity provider or each user of this that is interacting with the smart contract can still earn their rewards, because this means that my smart contract is going to have the smart contract that is fixed, but my stake key. Maybe Davide is interacting with the same smart contract, but the stake key is going to be his. So we are able to generate many different addresses, but that there are actually the same smart contract. It's just delegating with each one of us. And this is the same thing for the renting, for instance. What happens when I send my NFT that I want to rent to the smart contract? Just changing the staking keys and keeping the NFT safe in the smart contract, I can change the wallet that is actually having that NFT at that moment. That's why the NFT appears on Pool PM or on the one that has rented that asset. And this
Okay.
is really a unique feature of Cardano.
I wonder whether this situation is by design or whether, you know, it's just something that you guys discovered and then started utilizing.
No, I think that it's a both because there are some particular ways, for instance, that we found out right now. For instance, usually you play with the smart contracts that have only the spending key. So you replace the spending key with the smart contract. But you could actually create a smart contract also for the delegation part. So you could have an address that has two smart contracts involved in the same address. And that's something that we have still not explored in Cardano yet. Maybe there is not yet the utility for that, but it's going to come maybe one day.
Excellent. Thank you very much for explaining. Very, very well explained.
Cheers, man.
Is it that the same, a similar use case as with, oh, there's so many variables. What is it with the bonds? Is it Occam? No, what is it?
With the bonds, don't remember.
The stake pool bonds. That's a similar process there, I think. Using just the stake key and delegating with that. My question is, what's going to happen? I mean, I think here in part 4, maybe I just overheard it because I was doing the Twitter post at that time. What happens if the value of the NFT drops like significantly or rises? Does this change anything to the borrowing lending amount?
Right. Yes. So yes, for the when you rent it, it doesn't change because the NFT is rented for X amount of days. It's the same like renting an apartment in real life. Even if the real estate value changes, you have rented, so there's a contract there, right? But for lending and borrowing, so the normal with an actual ability to default eventually, etc. Yes, of course. But our platform at the moment doesn't have a liquidation mechanism. So it's a peer-to-peer, you decide the terms, you understand that for that amount of time that you cannot get sooner the collateral, so the NFT that you lock there. You will get it eventually at the end if the borrower defaults, so if he doesn't repay. And what we want to do and what we are doing already is creating penalties for the borrowers if he defaults. Because what we do is creating a platform for lending and not a platform for shorting. So what we cannot be centralized. So we cannot decide who can and cannot lend. So we allow any kind of the lending, right? But for example, the wallets have a karma attached to it. If you default, you get negative karma. So you get a score that basically represents your trustworthiness in the lending protocol, right? And if you change the wallet, of course, the karma resets because it's a new wallet, but people now start trusting only the actual borrowers that have a good karma. So the better the karma, the better the terms you can ask for the lending, for the loans. And at the same time, we, for example, show a very important information on the platform that is the total open debt that the borrower has. So if he has too many loans open at the same time, we show it, and people can do their risk management. So they know, oh, this guy already has 1 million ADA of debt in open loans. I don't want to be another loan open for them, right? So these informations allow people to be independent and decide. Our upcoming versions of the lending that as we iterate constantly, will also introduce an optional liquidation mechanism. So depending on the use case, you may want a liquidation mechanism or you may not want it. So we will allow the ability to choose.
Nice. Sounds cool. So it's a reputation slashing, but not a financial slashing.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The slashing is very severe actually, because our protocols of lending do something that is very interesting and that will be useful for the upcoming month now. We basically create bonds that represent your position. So if you become a borrower, you get an NFT that represents your borrow position. If you are the lender, you get an NFT that represents your lending position, right?
Mhm.
And what you can do with those, you can basically sell them. So if you don't want to stay in a position, you can resell it. Okay. If a borrower doesn't have the liquidity, but the collateral is worthy, he can sell it to somebody that can give the liquidity. So there's a market, and we are going to release a proper marketplace for this kind of bonds, right? And we're working on it, and will be released next month. And even if you change the owner of the bond as a borrower, and this new borrower defaults, the original guy who actually created the loan will get negative karma as well.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can just create two wallets, move the bonds and default on the second one and keep clean the first one. Instead, we track on the blockchain the movement, and we penalize. So if you want to actually buy the bond, you get the responsibility, of course, of.
So, but that
everything.
means if I sell the bond to Humpty Dumpty,
Mhm.
right? Because I need to cash out or whatever, then if Humpty Dumpty defaults, I get the slashing.
Yes, both of you get the slashing. Yes, the negative karma in this case.
So that's a very high risk to give the bond away on the open market.
Yes, you're the borrower. Borrower have responsibilities in a lending platform, and the lenders are the ones that are risking more. So basically, if you selling your bond should be the last resort because you cannot repay, right? It's different because if you're the lender, you can sell it for profit because maybe that position is super interesting.
Yeah.
That your loan is super interesting. But if you're the borrower, you're in a debt position. So you have obligations, and if you cannot do it, you sell it to someone who promised to repay, of course. But if he doesn't, you take the risk with him
And
of a negative karma. So you will get
Karma, is it written on chain, or is it on a database somewhere?
which one? Sorry, the karma or
Karma, the karma.
Yeah, the karma is not written on chain, is a function that you can display on the DApp, right? But if you track each loan, you can rebuild the karma automatically. So it's just a sum of the loan that you defaulted and the sum of the loan that you repaid. So
Okay.
positive on one side and negative on the other side. You can track on the chain. So it's on chain, but it's not displayed as a number.
Super interesting. I have thousands of questions because it's really cool, but I'm not going to steal your time anymore.
No, we need to move over to other guests, but I also have a very quick question that is a little bit different than the usual question you receive. It's about your collaboration with GeniusX. You were accelerated by GeniusX, right?
Yes.
How was that experience? How was the process experience? A few comments about that. Because we already have them as a guest for Genius Yield some time ago, but we didn't touch this part.
Right. Yes, of course. We started in complete bear market, so we couldn't actually have the benefit of the liquidity in the previous bull market, right? So we started building with our own money, so our funds. We didn't ask any VC to actually. We didn't raise money with them because otherwise there was already a compromise with the VCs that had to earn on the project, right? And in bear market they would ask too much. And we didn't have a product yet, so we wanted to release product to show that there is substance and there is an actual demand for what we're doing. And GeniusX helped us to cover the initial things that we lacked, because we are a technical team, we are strong developers, and some of us have business experience, right? But all the legal part, talking with VC, etc., for us, mainly at the beginning was difficult. It was difficult, right? So they actually help us get some recognition, connecting with some other projects that were inside the GeniusX accelerator, and do some first evaluation of the tokenomics. Later, the tokenomics was heavily changed, but they helped us giving a starting point to work on, right? So they provided different kind of services and insights that we used at the beginning to bootstrap ourselves a little bit.
You have
Amazing.
to do you have to exchange equity for that, or?
Yes, we have a few of equities as a incubator, of course.
Mhm.
It was needed.
Okay, cool.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Matteo. Thank you, Raul.
And a shameless plug here. You said you're doing everything with the community. We're gonna do that soon too. We'll have our own DAO token in the near future. So everybody who's going to join us, everybody's going to work with us, is going to be able to participate in the decisions that we're going to make here in the European Cardano community. So I love that model that you and the route that you're going. And this was just too good to be left out.
True.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you, guys.
Come back.
Thank you very much, guys. I'll talk to
Thank
soon.
you. We wait for your token on our lending platform.
Yeah.
It's going to be less worth than Hosky.
As long as have utilities.
It has in the end, yeah. What's the best way to get in touch with you? Sorry, we forgot about the basic question here.
Right. Yeah, we are always on our Discord and we are always on the Twitter. So if you guys want to reach to us, these are the best ones. You can email us if you want. We have on the website the formal email for contacting us, and we always check it. But we are quicker on Discord. So jump on our Discord, for example, have a chat, or DM us on Twitter. Yes, you can check underneath here the links. So we are always there. The whole team is there. There is someone that helps us, some mods, but the team is also always answering. So
Perfect.
Very good.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Let's move on with the next guest. We have here with us since the beginning, Sunny, our friend of ours. Sunny, take it away.
Hello, thank you for having us. I did have some questions actually for FluidTokens, but their presentation was so good and in depth that every question I had was like, oh, okay, that's how they're going to do it. That's how they're going to. So you answered all the questions that I had in my head through your presentation. So well done on that. So Project SIMBA is an initiative of SoundRig. SoundRig is a music distribution platform on Cardano. And the way in which we're different is that we have an encrypted player, which allows artists to create an experience which can only be viewed by the people who support their music, right? And the idea is that we are allowing artists to add to their revenue streams wherever else they may be. So it's not about, only come to SoundRig. We're saying create something special on SoundRig which isn't available anywhere else. And they can do that by, like I said, creating video content and adding photography, poetry, whatever they might want, whatever would connect them to their fans, right? So that's the tech side. Just want to say that we're still in MVP. We didn't get the funding in the last round, but that doesn't stop us, and it never has stopped us before. So what we do is we focus on things that we can control, right? So whilst we wait for funding and the development to happen and take us out of MVP, there is an element of SoundRig which is very close to our heart, because SoundRig in itself is a social enterprise. What that means is what we're doing is trying to create an ecosystem that helps people from underprivileged and underserved communities from around the world. Forget about the forget about the Web3 industry in terms of music and tech. People are left behind in normal tech terms, right? Even in the normal access to education and training and opportunities that the Web2 world brings. So that being said, we thought when we were trying to onboard artists from Kakuma refugee camp, I came across these wonderfully talented young people, and we were waiting for them to make music because I'd seen some stuff they'd done and they weren't able to deliver, and asked them why. And they said, well, when we had the equipment, we could do something. Now the equipment's not here. And so we were never able to release them on SoundRig. And so that's where the idea dropped in my head, the penny dropped, so to speak, was to build a kind of a community center come studio, a music studio that allowed them to learn how to do music production or sound engineering, but also allowed them to create some music that could be put on Web 2 and Web 3. And in addition to that, if you're going to ensure that they don't get left behind in tech, well, this is the perfect opportunity to introduce Web3 and Cardano especially, right? Because we all know about the different types of blockchains, but we all know why we're here, why Cardano exists, right? So it made sense to me to then create a place where they could learn everything about from the ideation all the way to launch, and then the ability for them to make revenues just to put food on the table, right? So we're taking this technology right to the very ground. And so SIMBA was born, and SIMBA is an acronym for Social Impact Through Business Alliances. The idea being that many hands make light work, right? So if you have many people, persons, businesses, projects, in our case on Cardano, who can focus their energies on one problem, it can be fixed, and not only fixed, but it can also thrive after. So whatever we do. So Kakuma Studios was the first idea for Project SIMBA, and what you see here is what we've already accomplished. So first of all was to bring the projects together, and sorry, the businesses together to actually start focusing on the problem. So for that, we have University of Nairobi. Now, University of Nairobi, I believe, is the fifth reputable, fifth best, so to speak, university in Kenya. And they loved the idea so much. And actually the chair of the Department of Literature, so they're in charge of the film and also the creative side, right, of studies there. And she'd actually done work in Kakuma refugee camp, so she knew the issue that we were trying to tackle, and she understood perfectly what it was that we were doing. Sorry, and but they didn't have any training or any knowledge of the crypto side of things, so they're very excited about that. So they joined us, and they are now the official education partner for the University of Nairobi with the Kakuma refugee camp. So in real terms, what does that mean? So anyone from Kakuma refugee camp who wishes to get an education from a reputable university like the University of Nairobi, they will be able to, if they are able to afford it, or if we can sponsor them. But it goes way beyond that, because now you've got students at the University of Nairobi who don't really get real world experience. There's no way of them putting any work towards their university credits. And on the flip side of that, you've got people in the refugee camp who may be able to sing, rap, or whatever, right? But they don't know how to produce. They don't have access to filmmakers, to music, sound engineers, etc. So what we've done is bring the two worlds together. So now anyone from the refugee camp, this is when the studios are built, of course, anyone from there will be able to match with a student who's studying in the field that they need the skills for. And so if they need a sound engineer, they'll be able to connect with the student who is doing sound engineering. Now, that work that the student does is now accredited toward the university degree. So this has never been done before. It's definitely a world first in this context. And so we were very proud of that moment. So we got the heavy lifting done at the very start, right? After that was just finding the right people to join us. So Mastermade Studios is a professional studio in Nairobi. They joined. They were able to help the initial EP that we had, and I'll come to that in a minute, to record it in their studios, to also do the mastering, mixing and mastering, and then helped teach the artist and the studio manager, or the soon-to-be studio manager, how to run a studio, how to do scheduling, everything that it takes to run a professional studio. So they were on board there. Sustainable ADA will be coming later, because when we want to start proving the impact that we're making, they're going to be there for that. They're going to help us to basically quantify, analyze everything that we're doing, so that we're able to get that out and prove to the world, basically, that it works. This is like the flagship project, so to speak, of SoundRig. And once we have this encapsulated, we'll then be able to offer the same concept to every other country in Africa, and then all over the world. We're calling it a self-sustaining model, in the sense that the artists will be able to use it for free for life, wherever this model exists, right? And a certain percentage of the revenue from their music sales will go back into the running of the studio. But in addition to that, we also want to include a community staking pool. Now, there's 250,000 plus people who live in Kakuma refugee camp alone. And there's one refugee camp in one country of Africa. They say 70% of the people there are between 18 and 35. They're all well within the intelligence range to know and understand what, crypto is, how it can benefit them, and what staking would be, etc. So as part of having a fully functioning recording studio, we're also going to have an education center where we can deliver education by other partners in Cardano who are already doing it. So we're already speaking with the Cardano Foundation because they have an academy in there. So we want to incorporate that at a later date. But that, again, can only be done when the studios actually physically exist. But so by having this community staking pool, as artists are earning from the revenues, they can stake to their own community pool, which means that they are staking to a pool which is taking care of them in turn. And I believe that this would be a really positive addition to the community, to the Cardano community as a whole, because one of the biggest goals that Charles said in his early videos is that he wants to onboard 1 billion new people into Cardano, right? You can only do that if you actually hand out an olive branch to the people who don't know anything about it and can benefit from it the most. So this is the vision that we went with, and we're using music as the not the catalyst, I don't know what the word is, the conduit. It's the conduit to deliver that education, deliver that opportunity of Cardano to the people that need it the most. But at the same time, we can have lots of fun, and we can also give them the opportunity to aspire to be musicians in the world, and then put their music out there, see how it does by creating these small collections that can easily sell out, rather than waiting for Spotify to pay them $100 after a year, and they still have to get 100,000, 1 million streams to even get $1,000, right? But if they can sell out 200 tokens, 200 tunes, which is our music tokens, NFTs, they can put food on the table. That's like a couple of thousand, and that's more than they'll earn probably in 6 months or a year. So it's obvious that it's going to be a benefit to them, and so this is what Project SIMBA is essentially. I don't want to talk too much. I want to give opportunity for you guys to ask questions if there's anything that I haven't covered. But just to finish off, you see the things that we have accomplished. So we've got all the partners. We've done the Cardano onboarding. So we have NGBS Wallet. I don't know, for the people who don't know, they are some pair of geniuses from Ethiopia, and they have managed to create a secure Cardano custodial wallet that is hosted on Telegram. And why this is key is because in Africa, they have no on-ramp or off-ramp opportunities, right? Most of the payments are made by mobile payment systems, like M-Pesa, for example, is one of the biggest ones they use in Kakuma refugee camp. And even if they were to sell music NFTs, whether it's on our platform or another platform or whatever, there would be no way for them to use that in their real terms, just to put food on the table, put clothes on their back, right? So they managed to be able to off-ramp straight to their M-Pesa. And we tested this. And if anyone wants to go to our YouTube, there's a video there where we did the whole onboarding with NGBS Wallet. And afterwards, there was one of the guys, his name's MC Beanzo, just to test it, because we haven't launched their music yet. So I sent them like 10 ADA just for test, because I was like, I want to make sure this works. And it was a live test as well. So these guys were like, they are developing in real time. So they were like, look, let's send a small amount to see that it improved, that it works. And it did. And he received the 10 ADA. He was able to go and spend that ADA, or turn that ADA into, I think it was 780 Kenyan shilling. And that's enough there to buy a meal, at least 2 meals a day. So that was 10 ADA, right? So so we knew that worked. So we done that onboarding. There was 9 people, brand new people from Kakuma refugee camp. Again, another world first, never happened before, who are now part of the Cardano community. We want to get the other 249 odd thousand as well. But and then the last thing that we've accomplished most recently, and we're really proud of, is that to test the provenance of the whole program. And it was actually a question somebody asked in a Cardano over coffee space. So shout out to them. And the question was, why don't you just give them $3,000? Why don't you just pay for their studio time, basically, and just put their music out there? Why do you need to build a studio there? Well, I knew the answer to that, but it's very hard to prove it, right? Just by me saying so. So I thought it was a very interesting question, and I wanted to put it to the test. So we put the hypothesis to the test by sending 8 people to from Kakuma refugee camp to Nairobi, and that consists of 6 artists, Abedi, who's been our guide there from the start, and a fly on the wall, a cameraman. His name is Jean, right? So he captured the whole journey, the whole experience from start to finish. Abedi's job was to manage the artists, to ensure that they behave themselves and didn't, end up getting themselves killed accidentally by whatever. So he was their caretaker, their bodyguard, so to speak. But he was also there to learn how to run a studio, right? So that's where Mastermade came into it, and they did that. They spent a week there in accommodation. Spent 5 days in the studio every day churning out music, and they also were able to perform at the University of Nairobi in front of all the students and the teachers. That's the first time any of them have performed in public outside of the refugee camp. And what the university did was, as an inaugural project, as part of our agreement, they gave us an 8-man film crew. And this film crew also filmed their side of what was happening. And that is soon to become a documentary, which will be released on all film festivals around the world. So that's being edited right now. But also the work that they did is now going to be accredited towards their university credits as well. So again, we're putting all of these things in real time. And so that is where we've got to up until now. So again, SoundRig is kind of stuck where it is in terms of still MVP, but we will be launching it's called the Kakuma All Stars. That's what they wanted to call it. So that's them. And there's 6-track EP with exclusive content in the back that we'll be launching in the next 4 to 5 weeks. And that will hopefully prove that with the documentary will showcase to the world why this opportunity is needed in Kakuma refugee camp, and why the Cardano community should be a part of it, what it already is, because we're Cardano, right? But how they can get involved and why they should support it in the future. And all that's left to do now is to basically get the funding for the studios, and so that we can build the studios and really open this up to all the other music artists and film director wannabes, filmmakers, all creatives that are in the refugee camp that need the opportunity to basically become a part of normal society. Yeah, that's it.
Wonderful.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Very cool.
I appreciate actually the approach of saying we don't just give them money, but let's let them take care of what they do. Because if you build something by yourself, you'd be much more careful usually than just having the money rain, no matter how urgent it is. So yeah, I'm a very big fan of that. I actually just read that we have a question about impact music. So I'm going to forward them to you, and so that you can talk. And of course, you put the link down there with Endubis wallet, and so just attach them to the GitHub item. And yeah, great things ahead. Sounds really good. And how do you team up with so many great people? Do you go out there for, like, most founders are pretty much introvert, right? So how do you go out there and say, hey, I have this idea? How much do you tell without getting lost? How much do you tell without having the fear of the thing getting stolen? I mean,
Yeah,
there is this thing where you say 2 founders are going to present the same idea, but execute differently and build something totally entirely differently, because some they have different things in in the back of their head. And I think that is something where founders can learn from you.
I think it's interesting what you say there, because yeah, you're right. Two people can have the same idea and execute differently, right? But I think that when it comes to really helping communities and helping people, there isn't any competition unless you're trying to make money, right? So, for example, there could be two different types of music platforms on any one space, right? But they're all going to do slightly different things. For us, if we are getting access to people that other people are finding difficult, then we're looking to help them, but we're looking to help them in the way that, so when they come through SoundRig, they also got access to every other platform that exists in the world, not just SoundRig. You know what I mean? That's not the end goal for us. The end goal is to make sure that they can leave the refugee camp or they can leave poverty permanently. And if you're thinking that way, I don't see that there is any competition. So I'm not really afraid to share all the details. In fact, they've been in our white paper from the very beginning, so it was never really hidden. The only thing that we do want to hide is the encrypted data. That means that there's some value to the tunes that these artists are creating, right? So that's the only thing that's encrypted. The rest is all open. And why is it easy for me? Well, I mean, I'm from the hospitality background. I used to be a 5-star concierge in London. You don't get that job if you're shy. So it's not difficult for me to just go and talk to any random stranger and build a rapport, especially when they know you're sincere. You know, like, so when you come with an open heart and you're giving them all the information they need and there's nothing to hide, and everything that you're talking about is about helping others, I don't think there's anything that anyone can say, but yeah, that sounds cool. Like, you know, especially when it's like, there's no money for you to put in right now. Like, there's literally just your effort, your time and your effort and your support, basically. And so that's why a lot of people are like, okay, we'll do it. I mean, for example, Mastermade Studios, they have costs. So we had to meet those costs, right? But they didn't charge us the full amount. And they've, in fact, over-delivered in terms of what they needed to do or had to do as a music studio. So there we met them halfway, or, you know, like more, and we provided them with that. I just want to say, ICANN South Sudan isn't part of Kakuma Studios. They are a similar situation, but in South Sudan. So they're a charity, a registered NGO who have taken in, they're based in Uganda, but they've taken in refugees, children and women from war-torn Sudan. And the person who started it, Stephen, he is a wonderful guy. And I remember him telling me the story. He said, I couldn't give them anything apart from what I already had, which was music education, because he's an artist. So he set up a school all by himself, and he let these kids come there and teaches them every day. And he has music artists come play guitar with them, teach them how to play music. And so that was the purpose, right? So now we want to emulate what we're doing in Kakuma refugee camp in South Sudan. And it's not the only place. There's places like this all over the world that will benefit from the same thing. What does the Cardano community gain out of it is potentially the next 500 million, 1 billion people that we end up helping coming to Cardano and enriching the community in that sense. And then they can become part of everything else that's Cardano, right? But they can't do that if they don't know how to do it. And people don't learn when you like giving them complicated stuff, but they will learn very easily through a medium that they love, in this case, music. So if we can use music as a conduit for education, then the rest becomes, you know, a really nice big snowball.
And the community will basically get that what they always promote, helping others. So that would be a great thing. Again, questions over questions. I love what you're doing, but I think we have to go on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
What's the best way to reach out to you? What's the best way to reach out to you?
I was just going to say, so we're open. We're on Twitter, X heavily. We've got Twitter Spaces like every Saturday, almost every other Saturday. And people can listen to us there, listen to artists. We're also on Instagram, because obviously we're outward facing in terms of not just crypto. We want to bring on non-crypto people as well. So, you know, there's Insta, but Twitter is probably the main place. Sorry, Elon Musk. I mean, X. X is the place. I keep saying Twitter. No one can stop saying Twitter, but X is the place where we mostly are. And also, please watch our YouTube videos. Follow us on there, because we are like hashtag build in public. Everything that we do is recorded. All the meetings we do are recorded, and I'll just put them on YouTube so people can see how we work and what we do. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Sunny. We are running a little bit out of time, so I will say that we can proceed with the next guest. Otherwise, we finish tomorrow, and it's not good. We have my friends of Adakonda, guys. Sorry for the late. I'm so excited to have you here. Please tell us more about your project.
Hi guys, hi folks. Thank you for the opportunity to talk with you and to have us here. Me and Adri, actually, you should see in the attendance people. Yeah, just first let me say it will be really difficult to present our project and our idea after Sunny, Raul, Matteo. So you guys are doing an incredible work. You're really bringing a lot of value in the community and the ecosystem. So really, cheers up for you.
Thank you.
And
You're right.
yeah, so let's start talking about KONDA. So everything started actually around 1 year ago, 10 months ago. With Adri, we had an idea. A basic idea that is actually the fundamental of our project. That is the feed the KONDA. This feed the KONDA is nothing else than our KONDA is munching on some NFTs for a project, some tokens of other projects around the Cardano community, and is spitting out back to for free to the communities, to the KONDA community. So this is where we started. We had an idea following the wave of a snack, basically. That's why we started as a meme coin. We are still a meme coin officially. We have actually a lot of utility. So yeah, we are trying to kind of change this name from us, like from a meme coin to actually a real utility token. You can see a few information there in our flyer. I think Adri, you can go on maybe describing a bit more there.
Yes, of course. Just wanted to say hello to everyone. This is Adri, co-founder of KONDA. And first of all, I just wanted to congratulate both Sunny and FluidTokens team. Like Zana said, you guys are doing an amazing job, and it's really wonderful to see projects that do this type of work. And yeah, so just wanted to tell you a little bit about KONDA. We started off as a meme coin, obviously following the trails of Snack. We thought of doing something funny, you know, just since Snack is a snake, and you know, the Anaconda is a type of snake. We thought, you know what, why not just play with the words and come up with something like that? And so the meme coin was born. We decided to name the ticker KONDA, and obviously it was primarily a meme coin. We managed to raise around 850 ADA. And we put that 850 ADA in the liquidity pool. I know it doesn't sound like much, but we were just really excited about this, and you know, we wanted to have something of our own, and we did it. So from 850 ADA, we're now at around 50,000 ADA inside the liquidity pool. And that comes from the community, comes from some over-the-counter deals that we made at the start. But yeah, the pool is healthy, and it's working. For example, in the last 5 to 6 months, we've traded around 5 million ADA, which is something that we never really expected. We've been working as well on providing some type of utility for the community. That's how we came up with the KONDA minting platform, where you can just easily log in, connect your wallet, and create any type of tokens you like. You can create an NFT collection if you're an artist, and it's very easy to use. And yeah, so that's how it started. Aside from the minting platform, we've also joined the Meme Coin Center. I don't know if any of you have heard of the Meme Coin Center. It's a collaboration between 3 projects, which are KONDA, Adalot, and Froggy. And basically what we do is we help projects that want to launch meme coins in Cardano. So we give them advice, we make sure that funds are safe. So so these projects, these new projects, up and coming projects can't really rug. So we're protecting the community. And so far we've launched around 11 projects with the MKC. I don't know if you've heard of Friend, but we've also helped launch in Friend, which is like, I think the second most popular meme coin on Cardano right now. So yeah, these are some of the things we've done. We're also working on actually innovating a little bit the minting experience. We want to gamify the NFT minting experience. So basically, when you're minting some with the help of Davide, we're also doing something kind of new. So yeah, it's all coming up. It's coming well, coming along well, and yeah, we're just really excited about the future, and you know, we're happy that we're doing this. So yeah.
Maybe a couple of information more in addition. Yes, Adri said we are basically structurizing our project as a minting platform, as a launchpad as well for other projects. As Adri said, also we are trying to set up our mint phase and our project advisoring, let's say like this, in a way that we can make the launch of the coin not ruggable. We are also holding part of the token in order to prevent that. We are releasing part of the token monthly to the founders, so that they anyway have access to part of the LP money and also their coin, obviously. What we're also working on, I'm not sure if you heard in the last period about Sahara Social. It's a social network. Basically, there is based on Cardano and based on selling and buying key of users. You will have to connect to the social with your Twitter account, and there you basically have the structure of influencer social network. So you can follow the most influencer people that you want to follow. You can have their keys. Having their keys is basically allowing you, giving you access to a private chat with the influencer and with the other people that are holding the keys. We are trying this project started from AINA. Is a project, is another a project that launched this, released this a few months ago. There was some problem with the developer, so we tried to jump in. We tried to make everything safe for people that will join to the users, as well as we plan to refund all the people that has been involved in this problem. So it was around 100,000 ADA, I think. Now we are collecting. We are basically ready. We audited the code for scalability, security, so main thing for a social network. Seems everything good. We are preparing the last thing in order to give an early access to that. So I guess in the next week, next 2 weeks, we will also go live with this.
Wow, didn't know that. Nice.
As you heard, a lot of things we try to put the hands, like, you know, there's this sentence that we like to put in a flyer in the middle, sorry, in the blue part. This is really something that we believe. It's a sentence that is really characterizing us from the start. We are two friends that want to do something. We like to do something in the community, and you know, we are not complete organization, companies, and so on. We cannot change the world, but we really think that making a little bit of good things slowly, also helping other people, trying to get inside the other project and helping how we can, that's really what characterizes us.
Yeah, another very important point is the IQ of the team combined. That's it.
This basically sums up the question already that I had. What would you answer a meme coin hater? I think that's the question.
Everyone's entitled to their opinions. People can hate meme coins. People can love meme coins. You know, it's all part of the balance.
Yeah, but the sentence that you put out there is a pretty good answer too. It's like, this is a little bit of a good mood that can change the world.
Yeah, I mean, that's our goal. You know, that's our main, that's what we want to do. And I feel like we have been doing this, so and we continue to do it. So little by little, we're doing a little bit of good, and that just sums up, you know.
Very nice.
It grows.
I just want to say that I do love that sentence, and it resonates with me
Oh yeah,
personally.
what you're doing in Kenya as well, in Africa, that's amazing. It's incredible, you know.
Absolutely. And I've just had an idea, which I'm not sure how it would work, but I thought we could do a music version of KONDA, and you know, just release it on SoundRig, but we could also release it on your platform. I don't know.
Yeah, why not? You know, if you log into our website right now, you go on konda.app, there will be a song that was made for KONDA. It's really yeah, it's funny, but you know, it's something what we put in there because you know, it's kind of describes our platform a bit and our meme coin, you know.
But definitely,
we definitely have to speak on the back end, because I've got loads of ideas flooding into my head now. But
for sure, you can reach out to us.
2,000 holders, we should be able to get some songs together, you know. Or
yeah, definitely. Why not? I mean, it would be amazing.
Interesting. Yes.
Mission accomplished. We connected.
You can also ask me for some details about what will come to the platform very, very soon, guys, but I will not tell anything here.
I'm on the cover. I want to be on the cover. I'm going to do this one here.
And by the way, Adakonda is the biggest snake, I believe, in the world, right? So there's no reason it can't become bigger than the snake.
Yeah.
Oh, it could. No, I mean, it would.
We're working on it.
Crazy. We're working on it. No, but you know, something funny is the supply of our token. The supply of our token is actually a combined measure of the largest and heaviest anacondas found in the world.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
How much is it? I don't know.
It's like 84 billion tokens. 84. Yeah.
That's long.
84
there's more numbers, but I know it's 84 billion.
It's in centimeters. Oh.
No. I think I put
no, it must be
the
millimeters.
weight. The first was the weight, and then I put the height, the feet, right? And it was like 24 feet or no, something big. It was 24 meters or something. It was crazy.
So here comes a dad joke. So every anaconda has 24 feet. Oh, that was a bad one.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to say anything there.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
I thought it was a mathematical thing, like, you know, the mass of it, or something like that. But 84 billion. Okay, that's how many tokens there are.
How do you? I think the liquidity the liquidity pool is a interesting question for founders. How does this work, and how did you grow it? Basically, you said you involved the community. And then there's always the saying, okay, you're the bag holder, but how do you work with that?
Basically, we make sure that the community has trust in us. So we've never touched any ADA from the LP. Basically, we started off with 850 ADA, and what happened was that big buys wanted to come in, and there'll be too much slippage, so they wouldn't really get the price of what they were paying for. So what we decided to do was do some over-the-counter deals where we would give people, interested community members, an amount of KONDA, and we would put that ADA inside the LP.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we managed to grow it. In like 2 or 3 days, we managed to raise like 35,000 ADA.
Wow.
Yeah, and that is still part of the LP now.
Okay, cool.
Very cool.
Thank you. So a founder doesn't have the doesn't need to, if you have, for example, hybrid models where you have one part in fiat and one part in your native token, you could basically say, okay, let's fill up the liquidity pool with that native with the fiat part or with the over-the-counter deals, and then not touching it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's say more OTC than fiat, because we didn't start with money, much money behind
No,
us. But yeah, no, that's actually something that we wrote on our previous website, that is 0% to founder, because really we tried to not touch anything, being more transparent than possible, and being active, you know, like if people see also if the token is low, there's no much activity around, but you're there, you're building, you're still supporting the community, answering and so on, like people will come. I mean, the people will start to trust you and they slowly come. So I mean, we are not worried. We are just there, we do our work, we do it slowly, we do it well, and
under
ever
promise
have-
and over deliver.
That's
That's
the
goal.
Cardano way, isn't it?
Yeah,
Do it
always.
slowly, but do it properly.
And did you
Yeah.
ever have
Exactly.
did you ever have the fear that somebody would whale you out, basically, like being in? Yeah.
Actually, yes. It was not so dangerous in our case, but we already we saw a few times some action, but it was always a temporary feeling, I would say. You know, if you just can overcome the 2-3 days, that you have the impact, obviously, but then everything is just continuing its daily work. Also, probably it's easier for us because we are we both have a 8-hour job in real life, so we are doing like as a side job, even if at the end I'm spending basically 6 hours on KONDA and 8 hours in real life work. So
Oh yes, it's the life of a founder.
yeah.
Yeah. And anyways, about that question as well, it's, you know, there is a saying, what goes up must come down.
Mm.
And I think that plays along with any type, whether it's a meme coin or whether it's Bitcoin or whether it's Cardano, you know, when it rises, sooner or later, eventually it will come down.
Yeah.
So that.
And additionally, I have a technical background. I'm a developer for like 15 years. Adri is as a business background. So, you know, like together was pretty easy. You know, when there was a low business moment, we were trying to focus on technical side. So like, come on, Adri, come here, go on with this one. Let's try to build something. And also the other way around.
The other way around, yeah, especially the other way around, because I mean, Cardano is all technical stuff, bro.
No, but yeah, I mean, it was really nice because I think we made a good team. And
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I'm very happy that I chose we chose, you know, this path together, because honestly we complement each other. So yeah, we make a great team in my opinion. So yeah, we're also glad for what we've reached, and we're looking in the future as well to continue growing and becoming a, you know, putting our name in Cardano history. So yeah.
We will, guys, we will.
slowly.
I mean, KONDA is certainly memorable, so I don't think you will have trouble with that. It's just now how
there were some funny memes at the start, like, how big is your KONDA?
yeah.
You know, it's very memeable.
You should keep going with them.
Yeah. Or like I don't know if you've seen the oh my God, I forgot the actor, the Transformers actor, Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
He had there's a meme of him holding this huge snake, and it's like, how big is your snake? You know, how big is your KONDA? So it's
Is it my KONDA is bigger than your KONDA?
exactly. There was all these types of things in the chat, and you know, it was just really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were like, no, I was talking about my supply, my token.
Exactly.
Very nice, guys. Thank you very much for having accepted my invite to come here. And yes, as you mentioned, we have more stuff coming on the KONDA side as well, very, very soon.
Yes.
So
Thank
it
you for
was-
having us. It was really a pleasure to speak with you
well,
guys.
anytime you want, guys. Really, it was a pleasure. You showed us that your project is way more than a simple meme coin, and you have very good plans for the future as well. So it's always a pleasure to have you here.
The 69 IQ is working.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, fantastic. So we got to the end of our session. It was amazing as usual. We managed to outperform ourselves every time, and then should not be the one saying that, but we need to cheer us up after the results of the last catalyst round. So yeah, let's try to stay up and focus on what we can do more. So put together very nice people. And we do that very, very well, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much to all the guests.
And thank you,
And,
Davide, for also inviting these wonderful projects. I'm not a meme coiner, but you definitely got my heart. Thank you, guys.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words.
This will be my only words in the
Oh,
Fireside.
Mauro.
Thank you so much.
Amen.
I will be here the last 10 minutes, so great presentation, guys.
Also,
wish-
thanks for participating.
Pedro, I need to talk with you about an initiative in Europe. I write you in your Discord, so good things.
Okay. Okay, cool. Looking forward to that. Cheers.
Fantastic, guys. Let's close the Fireside chat for a moment. Thank you again to all the guests, and we see each other in 2 weeks. Have a nice
Awesome.
evening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Thank you
Bye.
all. Bye-bye. Goodbye.